Standing By, the Terry and Ted podcast is brought to you by the UPS Store Canada, now with over 400 locations across Canada.
Speaking.
Hello.
How do you do?
Good, thank you. Welcome to another edition of the Standing By podcast. This one being recorded on October the 7th for the 8th of October release. Can't believe it's October. If you live in Montreal and have been experiencing the weather these past couple of weeks, it really feels like summer.
I am all in with climate change.
Yeah.
Burn, baby, burn. Spectacular weather.
Yeah, it's just I was in the pool on the weekend, and not for very long. And there's something about being going for a swim in October that isn't the same as going for a swim in July.
A friend of mine told me she was at the Verdun Beach swimming.
Really?
Last week?
Wow.
Last weekend.
Oof.
And I said, how was the water? Freezing.
Yeah, I bet it is. Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, but it was nice on the beach. It was 27 degrees.
Yeah. Anyway, if you've downloaded this in the year 2027, we'll stop talking about the weather because you can listen to the podcast anytime. Terry DeMonte and Ted Burn. We used to be on the radio, and now we have a podcast largely about Montreal, for Montrealers and ex-Montrealers all over the place. Jess was looking, Jess is our executive producer and my wife, and she was looking at some of the places that people were downloading the episode last week, all over the planet.
Yeah, we got more mail. We got an email. I think we got a mail. We got an email yesterday or the day before from someone, ex-Montrealer. Yeah. I can't remember where he said he lived, but he said he really enjoyed listening to the podcast and reconnecting with Montreal through us.
I had a conversation over Facebook Messenger with regular listener Toby Solak, who lives in England. Toby and his sons, Finn and Parker, enjoy the podcast every week. And Toby and I were talking about the unique Montreal thing, where if you're from Montreal or you grew up in Montreal, and even if you didn't stay in Montreal and you're now living in Chicago or London, England, or in Australia or wherever, it stays with you. There's a hook that comes with being from the city that is, I think, unique to Montrealers.
Well, probably true of any hometown, but Montreal more so than others, I think,
yeah,
for whatever reason. Reasons that you would know better than me because it's not my hometown. But I know when I went back to Fredericton this past summer, I reconnected right away.
Right.
But I only lived there for the first 18 years of my life. I've been here for 40 years. So this really is home as much as, if not more than anywhere has ever been.
I think it might have something to do, too, with if you're in the English community is a little smaller, and we hang on to those things that make it special, and it goes beyond bagels and smoked meat. There's an attachment to the city that never leaves you. And I suppose if you're from Scarborough or you're from St. Vital, maybe the same thing is true. But I find there's something very uniquely Montreal about the connection to the city. I'm going on and on in here. If you're watching on YouTube, you might notice Ted is wearing a racing jersey with a big DHL logo on it. And I thought, oh, Christ, how are we going to explain this? But you can explain it.
Well, DHL is a delivery service. And if you're a regular listener of this podcast, you know that our title sponsor is the UPS Store. So first of all, the history of the shirt. This shirt was sent to me, and you got one too, by an old acquaintance of ours, Mike Legalick, more than an acquaintance, an old friend of ours, Mike Legalick, who used to be the nose cone guy on the BAR Honda, the now defunct BAR Honda Formula One team that Jacques Villeneuve drove for. And Mike was the guy who, when they came in for a pit stop, he would replace the nose cone. So he worked his way up from nose cone guy on the F1 circuit to Chip Ganassi Racing team manager on the IndyCar circuit. Mike is a big deal now on the IndyCar circuit, but he's always kept in touch. And he sent me and you each one of these shirts.
Sweet.
It's from Chip Ganassi Racing, and it's autographed.
Yes, it's right under, just under the collar.
It's autographed by Alex Palou.
Wow.
The 2025 Indianapolis 500 champion and 4-time IndyCar Series
How about
champion.
that?
Yep. To Ted from Alex Palou, and there's one, you've got one to Terry.
That's nice.
From Alex Palou. So I thought Mike went to the trouble of
Yes.
organizing this and sending it. I've got to wear it on the podcast, but then I thought, oh no, what about UPS Store?
Yeah.
So I texted David Drucker, who is the emperor of the UPS Store and our great and good personal friend, and I explained the situation to him, and I said, your call. You're the title sponsor, your call. And he said, DHL competes with UPS Brown, but in fact, we are partnered with DHL at the UPS Store.
I didn't know that.
They are a designated agent, or UPS
I
Store is
see,
a designated agent. One is a designated agent of the other. So there's actually a partnership. So I'm not spitting in the face of our title sponsor.
I'm glad to hear that.
This. Yeah.
Because I won't tell you why I know this, but we order things from Italy sometimes, and they come via DHL, and they come like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I'm like, God, the package is here already.
And do they come to the UPS Store?
You can pick them up, I think, at the UPS Store, but we have them, they end up at our house.
Okay.
And I think it has something to do with our proximity to Mirabel, because that's where the package planes go.
Yeah.
But they're. I'm glad to hear there's an association there, because
well, this came pretty quick as well. Although they sent a note and said, "Please tell us the best time for delivery." And I said, "Anytime except Friday between 11 and 1." And they sent me back a note saying, "Your package will arrive Friday between 11 and 1." So I said, just send it to the depot and I'll pick it up there. So I picked it up at Bureau en Gros.
Jess and I were talking about the UPS Store the other day. I suspect they're going to be quite busy in the coming weeks with the ongoing postal problems. The postal strike. I forgot
about the postal strike.
The postal strike is raging again. So let me just recommend, if you've got a home run business and you need to get stuff out pronto, the UPS Store is your friend. They will solve that problem for you. There are over 400 locations across the country. That's their website. Go to the website. You can look at the business blog. You can find the location nearest you all over the country. It's the UPS Store.ca.
I wanted to send a thank you card to Rich Steinberg, who provided my son Sam and I with the football tickets to see the Giants in Kansas City and New York a couple of weeks ago. So I went to the pharmacy and I bought a card, and I scrawled out a little handwritten thank you note that he probably will need some sort of a hieroglyphics interpreter. But then I took it to the post office in the pharmacy at Point Claire Plaza, and I said to the guy, stamp for the U.S., and he goes, yeah. He says, I can do that. He says, I don't know if it's going to go anywhere.
Yeah, it isn't.
I didn't realize that. I guess I did realize, but I forgot that there was a strike.
I did the same thing. I was sending a handwritten condolence note to a friend of mine and wrote it, put a stamp on it, dropped it in the mailbox, and went, oh, Christ. Because it's automatic. I mean, I know there's a lot of...
You mean a postal strike?
Well,
it's automatic.
It is. In Canada, it is. But, I mean, I don't know how the country functions without a post office. So I don't know what they're going to do, because they're bleeding money and the union wants more money. And it's, I wouldn't be a good negotiator, as you can tell. Okay, you guys want more money and you guys don't have money. Okay, what are we going to do? That's why they have lawyers for that kind of thing. I hope they get it settled. Because, believe it or not, Christmas is around the corner. Hard to tell with the weather. I wanted to mention a couple of things that I think are noteworthy, and you should take note of. So that's noteworthy.
Yes.
Okay.
Hence the term.
Right.
Noteworthy.
At the airport, if you do a lot of the flugeling, if you're a flyer, as of October the 15th, 4,500 parking spaces are disappearing. Ugh. They are closing the multi-level, parking, and P5 is closing. And they say if you park at the airport, if you fly to Toronto for business or you're going to New York for the weekend, you like to park at the airport, do not go to the airport without a parking spot reserved, because they're moving everything over to P4, which is the new parking lot. Anyway, it all changes October the 15th, but you're not to worry, because the new parking lot will be ready by 2031. So that's pretty exciting. Anyway, as of October 15th, we're recording this on the 7th. And because I usually reserve my parking, I'm on an email list, and they sent out a note this week saying, don't do that because all these parking spots are disappearing. So if you spend a lot of time flying back and forth to places, do take note.
What's going on over there? Why is all this
Well, they're
happening?
expanding. They're
They're expanding by cutting back?
Yeah. Well, they're building a new parking lot, and it's being redesigned, and the airport is being improved, and the REM and the da-da-da-da-da-da.
Okay.
And
are we going to live to see any of it?
Well, I'm hoping to be alive in 2031 yourself.
Okay.
I'll just knock wood as I'm doing that.
How many years is that from now?
That's 6 years from now.
I got a shot.
Yeah, me too. I hope so. I wanted to just mention a couple of emails. What do you think?
Yep.
Okay. Yep.
Yep. I was just trying to find one too. Maybe you've got it.
Okay.
From Buddy, who was listening, and I can't find it, so I'm calling him Buddy, and I apologize. Who was listening to the podcast in the car when his wife and his 2 sons fell asleep?
Yes.
Have you got that one?
I do.
Go ahead.
Hi, Terry and Ted, longtime fan from the radio days. Even had the chance to meet you years ago. I used to be the parking attendant at Crescent Parking. That's before Weinstein and Gavinos was there. That's a long time ago.
That's 30 years ago.
Always look forward to the new episodes. One of the highlights of my day. This summer, I took the family to Niagara Falls, and on the drive back, my wife and 2 boys, 10 and 13, were passed out in the car, probably recovering from the trauma of me insisting we take 47 photos in front of the same waterfall. With the car finally quiet, I thought, perfect time for some Terry and Ted, so I put an episode on. 5 minutes in, I'm laughing so hard, I sound like a seal getting tickled, and suddenly my wife jolts awake, and the kids pop up like meerkats, and they all look at me like I've lost it. What are you listening to, they ask. I say, 2 guys I used to listen to when I was a kid. Cue the eye rolls. One of the kids says, it's just 2 old guys laughing.
Pretty much.
And the other kid chimes in, so basically 3 old guys now. Ouch. Next thing I know, I'm forced to switch to their playlist, which sounds like a blender fighting a microwave while someone mumbles into a pillow. I didn't understand a single word. That's very dad.
Yeah.
But apparently their music is fire. I feel bad for this generation. They've got auto-tune and TikTok dances. I had Terry and Ted and real music. Wow, that's really dad, eh?
Well, did you see the letter that I sent back to him?
I did. It comes from Spiros Mitsinis or Mitsinis. Spiros, thank you. That's a very lovely letter. I appreciate that. And Ted answered, hi, Spiros. Thanks for your note. You should have made them listen to us. My boys are 26 and 24, and I still call the shots, especially when it comes to what gets played in my car. Don't enable them.
Seriously, though.
Yeah. This I'll mention, I think, next week, because this is something for November. And a nice note we got from Pierre Simard. Really loved the podcast, brings back a lot of good memories. Recently listened to the episode in which Ted was talking about Leonid and friends. I suggest you guys look at the Hindley Street Country Club from Australia. They put out a new cover every Friday around midnight on Facebook. The audio is better on YouTube. They've covered over 500 songs to date. They're simply amazing. And Pierre sent us the links. Pierre, thanks so much for taking the time, and thanks for sending us the note. The best way to send us a note, by the way, and we read them every day, and we answer most of them, go to terryandtedpodcast.com. When you go to the website, you'll find a list of this year's episodes. You'll find a list of recommendations we've talked about, and you'll be able to send us an email through the website, terryandtedpodcast.com.
There are a lot of good classic rock cover bands out there, real solid professional musicians. Yeah. Leonid and Friends is one. The Lexington Lab Band is another one. And there's one who do Steely Dan called Brooklyn Dreamers, I think. And they do it note
I love those
note,
guys. Yeah.
And so well, so good.
This is going to sound terrible, but you know what I'm tired of? Tiny children.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
what
tiny children.
Now?
Well, tiny children and their parents with the guitars and the singing and the dancing. And
on YouTube and TikTok.
You can tell they're trying to make their kids a star.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, you're 10. I get it. You're talented.
I like the family with the dad who sits on the couch in the back and has a beard, and then he has the son on the drums and a son on the guitars and the daughter on the bass.
Okay.
I like that family. I forget what they're called. Hi, we're the Smash Hit family, and this is that.
That's a stunning impression.
Them I like, but I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you mean. And it's the parents trying to live vicariously through the children.
Speaking of music, the big news this week as we're recording this podcast, Rush are back. Rush have decided to go back on the road. Now, before you scream at the radio or the car, whatever you're listening on, I know, without Neil, it's not Rush. I get that. I understand that. I've already seen some of that online. But there's an amazing video on YouTube of both Alex and Geddy talking about, like, they're announcing the fact that they want to go back on the road. And they're talking about how they loved their songs, they loved their music, they loved playing their music for their fans. They missed their brother and their friend, and they thought it would be one way to honor him. So they're going on the road in 2026. And the big question, of course, is who's going to drum. And Anika Nils, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm not sure. She's a 42-year-old German drummer born in 1983. So she was born around the time Signals came out.
Yeah.
Long after Rush had their debut in 1974. She's toured with Jeff Beck. She's really, really a well-respected drummer. And both Geddy and Alex talk about her in the video and talk about how tough it is to try and pull the songs off without Neil behind the kit. They also talk about, Geddy says they're going to get a keyboard player so that he isn't tied to it. Anyway, the announcements were all over the internet in these last couple of days. I think it's great news. There's only 2 Canadian dates so far, both of them, of course, in Toronto. But it was a big, big deal because a lot of people speculated that they would never go out again. And they explained in the video that during their performance at the Taylor Hawkins tribute,
he was the drummer for Foo Fighters.
Yeah,
I got that right.
Yeah, who tragically passed away of an overdose. Anyway, they said during that time they started to toy with the idea, and no less than Paul McCartney said to them, "This is what we do. This is who we are. You got to go back out." And that's
okay, Mr. McCartney.
kind of like Dad telling you to get back on the road. Anyway, out they go. So if you're a Rush fan, you probably already know this. If you're a classic rock fan and you hadn't heard it, just Google Rush Tour 2026. You'll get all the news.
And with a polished professional drummer, no, it's not going to be Neil Peart, but that doesn't mean it's going to be bad. It's still going to be great.
Yeah, Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson.
Great.
Yeah.
You know, they've been best friends since high school and remain. I saw Alex Lifeson say, Geddy is my best friend. Like still today, like 50 plus years later, probably closer to 60 years later.
Well, they explained that for the last, since Neil's passing, they've been going over, I think it's to Alex's house, and just jamming and fooling around. And a couple of years ago, they started to fool around with some of the songs they used to play live, some of their own songs. And that's where they chose to do the announcement that they were coming back. And I was really taken, like you can really, this is going to sound cornball, but you really feel the love between them. Like they're really brothers in arms. And if you know the history of Rush, like Ted says, they've been friends for so long. There's some great video. I don't know how this happened, but obviously somebody had like a Super 8 camera. There's video available. I forget where it is, a documentary or wherever, where you can see Alex as a long-haired, I think 16 or 17-year-old at his parents' table telling his parents he's quitting school to go in a band. Like it's really quite something.
How did his parents react? Because his parents are old school Yugoslavian, as I recall.
Yeah, not good. Did not go over well.
I kill you.
It's really astonishing video. If you're a Rush fan, you've probably already seen it. Anyway, I thought I would mention that I thought that was really big news, and I thought it was good news that, two guys who are still vibrant and,
Did you see Geddy Lee's intro to the Blue Jays playoff opener?
I didn't.
They had a produced video of him reciting something that I assume he had written about the whole magic of baseball kind of narrative.
Yeah, he's a massive baseball fan.
Yeah, he loves baseball.
Yeah,
Wasn't he on 60 Minutes? Didn't Dan Rather interview him about his baseball paraphernalia?
It wasn't 60 Minutes. It's that Dan Rather show on the AXS network, I think. Like it's a he's been doing it in the last 10 years, and Geddy was on that show, and it's interesting because Dan Rather's he's interviewed a lot of musicians on that show, and that's where I think Geddy displayed his baseball ball collection.
Yes,
that episode.
Yes.
Yeah. Massive ball fan.
Yeah, it was really good. You can probably find it online. It's probably on YouTube or whatever. The intro. The Sportsnet intro with Geddy Lee to the Blue Jays playoff opener earlier this week. You want to segue into the Blue Jays?
I think we should.
Yeah.
I'm not a massive baseball fan, and both Jess and I have got caught up in it.
I got back into it this year because I went to a Blue Jays game in Toronto this summer with my son, Sam, and loved the atmosphere. Not a huge fan of the stadium. I like the old-style ballparks or the new retro ballparks. But the fans there really make it. They're great baseball fans in Toronto.
Yeah.
They're really behind that team, and it's a very likable team. It's a scrappy, gritty team. There are no real superstars. It's a different lineup every day. Everybody gets an opportunity to contribute. And the upshot is they're up to nothing. At least they might have advanced by the time you watch this. They were up to nothing on the Yankees in a best of 5 when we recorded this, and they've got as good a shot as anybody at going all the way. And I put out on social media the other day, I know it's counterintuitive as a Montrealer, but I really like the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
And some people agreed, and some people vehemently disagreed because they can't get over the fact that in 2001, when Major League Baseball held a vote on contraction to eliminate 2 teams, the vote was 28-2, and the 2 teams that dissented were the 2 teams that were being targeted for contraction, the Expos and the Minnesota Twins. So there are a lot of former Expos fans who are still bitter about that because the Blue Jays voted for contraction. Most of the Blue Jays players weren't even alive when that happened.
Yeah, and also that's business, and also I don't follow it as deeply as everybody else does. But the fix was in. The fix was in. With Loria and Major League Baseball, they wanted to move that team.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody could have stopped it. I'm anxious to see the documentary when it comes out later this month.
Yeah, Who Killed the Montreal Expos?
Who Killed the Montreal Expos?
It's called? That's going to be on Netflix later this month, and we've already lined up a guest
to talk about it,
who knows a lot about the Expos to come in and talk about it after it premieres.
I guess if you're a long-time diehard fan of a certain ball club, I understand it. But if you're just a fan, like if you just like to watch the game and there's a team down the road that's doing well, come on, jump on the bandwagon.
Yeah. Also, at some point, you got to get over shit.
Yeah.
And the fact that your favorite baseball team folded or moved somewhere else, probably not the worst thing that has happened or is going to happen in your life.
Yeah.
There are bigger tragedies than that.
A lot of people don't think so.
I guess not.
There's a lot of people that are really, really still broken up about it. I really, like I said, I've enjoyed it. And my wife and my father-in-law are massive fans, and reminded me the other day, they were out golfing, and they were peeking between holes. They were peeking at the score. And Jess sent me a text saying, "Are you watching the baseball?" And I said, "No." She said, "Turn it on. It's great. It's 13-2.
Oh, they were killing. Well, they
like,
just,
wow.
Yeah, I think the Blue Jays scored like 24 runs in the first 2 games. And I was thinking to myself, what's the New York Post headline going to be on whatever morning it was? Was it Monday morning? Did they play Saturday and Sunday?
Yeah.
Because the New York Post is notorious for having great back page headlines about the local sports teams, especially when they're getting the shit kicked out of them. And I thought it'll be Bronx Bummers or Murdered Row, but it turned out to be Doe Canada.
Good one. A couple of other quick notes before we tell you what our friend Sugar Sammy is up to. Yes, I know Chris de Burgh has announced that he'll be here in March of 2026. He's going to do some Canadian dates in March. And the other thing I wanted to mention was I was at Sam Fender on last Wednesday, a week ago when this podcast is being released. Went to see him at Place Bell. He's a British, just a terrific British guitar player that has a flavor of 1980s Bruce Springsteen. Really fascinating, interesting guy with a great live presence. And he played at Place Bell. Boy, do I love this venue. I've heard
nothing but good things about it.
Oh my gosh. You and I were with the DiCabella.
Nino and Renato DiCabellis from Jaguar Land Rover Laval.
Yeah, they invited us to their loge at Place Bell last year or the year before. And that was my first look at it. And this was my first time in the seats watching Sam Fender. Don't hesitate to go to Place Bell if you haven't been. What a great venue it is. Now, speaking of venues, where's Sugar Sammy going?
Sugar Sammy, he played the Riyadh Comedy Festival in Saudi Arabia last night, and I actually sent him a note. And I said, if I've done the time calculation correctly, you're getting close to showtime. If you get a chance, shoot me a note after and tell me how it went. And sure enough, late last night, hey, Ted, gig was great. For the podcast tomorrow, same information for Manchester and London. He has sold out 2 shows in London, England. Wow. That's the kind of international acclaim that Sammy has garnered. Sold out 2 shows in London, so 2 more now have gone on sale in London, England. Before he goes to London, he'll be in Dubai later this month for a couple of shows. Back in Montreal and Quebec City in January. Now, what was interesting about the Riyadh Comedy Festival, I listened to a few different comedy podcasts with guys who either were there or new guys who went there or girls who went there. The only rules at the Riyadh Comedy Festival were you can't make jokes about religion and you can't make jokes about the royal family.
Yeah.
Other than that, everything is fair game. So if you want to hear Sammy make jokes about religion or the Saudi royal family, your next opportunity closer to home will be January 24th. He's got a bilingual show in Montreal. And then on Friday, January 30th and Saturday, January 31st, he's got shows in Quebec City. Go to sugarsammy.com to sign up. You will also see that he's got several American shows, including Florida gigs, Miami, Orlando, and Tampa in February. I know a lot of Montrealers, a lot of Quebecers are down in Florida at that time of the year. There's an opportunity to go see Sammy.
Sugarsammy.com. Oh, he's going to Manchester. Cool. If you go to his website, you can see the cities and you can get all your ticket information. You even get alerts when there's a low ticket availability, and you can also look at some great clips.
Yeah, he's got an excellent website.
Yeah, it's a great website. Yeah, Houston, Dallas, San Francisco. 2026 is going to be busy for Sammy. He's going to do a lot of American dates and then head back to the country, I think, midsummer next year. Sugarsammy.com. By the way, if you want an interesting perspective on comedians going to the Middle East, Bill Maher had on Louis C.K. as his...
That's one of the podcasts that I was listening to that I had mentioned.
His first guest on this past week's show was Louis C.K., and Louis, I thought, had a great overview of it. Louis been appearing on a lot of podcasts because his reputation, I think, has been rehabilitated.
I think so, too.
I just love Louis C.K., and he's very, very funny and everywhere. And Bill Maher is, I'm a fan of Bill Maher's. He's got a podcast, but he never lets anybody talk. He does most of the talking and interrupts. And Bill Maher loves the sound of Bill Maher's voice.
Yeah.
So it's hard when you're listening to his podcast. I find anyway. That's
I like
my
his.
opinion.
I like his monologue, and I like his new rules.
New rules. Yeah. I'm going to mention some podcasts coming up when we do recommend recommendations at the end of the show. I also wanted to mention Ozzy's new book. Speaking of people who are dead, we weren't.
Ozzy's new book, I'm Dead.
Yeah, is out today. As we record this on October the 7th, oddly enough, the book is called Last Rites.
Mm-hmm. And is it...
Would you call that ironic?
Yes. Yeah. Is it ghost written?
No, it's it's
ghost
all
written because
because he died.
Yeah.
No, he completed it before he passed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Much like his last show. He did his last show, and 17 days later, he passed a die.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ozzy Osbourne, Last Rites. The hardcover version comes out as of today, and it's his whole story, and apparently it's full of wild stories.
Really?
Yeah.
Wild stories from Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah,
you don't say.
Yeah, apparently he had a very, very interesting life.
No doubt.
I once had a job to go find him.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, when I was working in the music business with the Queen City Kids. The Queen City Kids were a band out of Regina, Saskatchewan, whom I worked for a few years. And we went on tour. Well, not we, but I was part of their crew. We went on tour with Ozzy. And one night here in Montreal, before the show, Ozzy wandered off with a bottle of Jack.
Uh-oh.
And the hunt was on, and everybody who was available, it was all hands on deck because it was like 6:30 and nobody could find Ozzy.
And there was a show that night.
Yeah. It was like the show was like an hour and a half away, and nobody could find Ozzy. All we knew was that he had a bottle of Jack, and he was gone.
So did you find him?
Yeah,
Did you find him?
No. I didn't find him. Thank Christ, I didn't find him. I don't know what that would have looked like. But yeah, the show must go on, and he did, in fact, wander back.
Good old Ozzy.
Well, I shouldn't, but I assume that people that are listening to the podcast are also, fans of music, because we were surrounded by music for most of our career.
Well, yeah, and if you're not familiar with who Ozzy Osbourne is, I don't know what to tell you.
Read a paper.
Yeah.
And here's a question I wanted to ask you. I thought I shouldn't ask Ted this because I know you don't eat anything bad anymore, right? You're not a sweet guy.
No, I mean, I'll spoil myself once in a while, but certainly not on the regular.
I was going to ask if you have a favorite industrial cookie.
Industrial cookie?
Like the cookies that are on we live near an
I mean like a grocery store cookie?
Yeah, like Oreo.
Something,
Chips
something that's in a bag or a box and not fresh baked out of the oven.
Yeah.
No, I don't really.
You don't, eh?
No.
Did you ever?
No, I wasn't a big cookie guy.
You never were a cookie guy?
No.
Huh.
No, I was a cereal guy.
Cereal guy.
Oh, yeah, Cocoa Puffs.
Okay.
I was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Mano's having our producer, Mano, thinks we've lost our minds.
The old men talking about cookies and cereal.
Cocoa Puffs?
Cocoa Puffs.
Oh, we were not allowed to have that in the house.
Captain Crunch with Crunch Berries. With Crunch Berries.
Yeah.
Those were good.
Yeah. I'm still a fan of that.
Yeah. Can you still get them with Crunch Berries?
Well, in the States.
Yeah.
Yeah. Elbows down.
I remember, I remember seeing a list one time of the worst cereals, and I liked most of them.
Yeah.
And the top of the list, like the most unhealthy cereal of all, you want to take a guess? Honeycomb.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because you would think that honey infers it's some kind of health food.
Actual honey content, 0%.
Really, eh?
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan of honeycomb because I'm not a honey fan.
Yeah.
But
they didn't taste like honey.
Yeah.
They were just pieces of sugar.
We were allowed that kind of cereal in the house when we were on holidays. I remember, we went to Old Orchard Beach a couple of times when I was a kid, And that's when my mom would relent. And we could get a box of Fruit Loops or Captain Crunchers. But other than that, we often had the giant duffel bag of puff wheat. Do you remember that? Remember that?
Yeah. It was awful stuff.
It was about 4 feet tall. It came in a plastic bag, and it was 29 cents. And it tasted just as delicious as you can imagine.
Yeah.
It was like eating...
It was like eating soggy buttons or something.
New from Post, soggy buttons. Yeah, there it is. There. Thank you, Mano. There's the giant bag of puffed wheat.
There's the puffed wheat
You put milk on that, and it all floats to the top and spills over the bowl. And then you have to put 77 teaspoons of sugar on it to make it taste like something. Are you still a cereal guy?
Yeah, I mean, I don't eat a lot of cereal, and the stuff that I do eat is quote unquote
healthy.
Yeah, but it's not really. Like, I like Vector, but I think that's mostly sugar as well.
Is it?
I think it's, I don't think it's, a nutritionist friend of mine told me one time, you're just eating sugar when you eat that stuff.
Yeah.
There's, Post has cranberry something, cran flakes, like it's, it's like flakes with dried cranberries in it.
Yeah.
That I like. Life
cereal?
Yeah.
That's what Mikey liked, wasn't it?
Mikey.
He likes it.
Mikey will eat anything.
I like multigrain Cheerios, and I also find after a certain age, you need some grains.
Mm-hmm. They help. Yeah. Yeah. There's chocolate Cheerios now, eh?
Yeah.
They're not good for
too
you
much
at all.
sugar.
Yeah.
The reason I asked about industrial cookies, because I haven't bought industrial cookies in the longest time. And my dad is a huge fan of Whippets. You know what Whippets
are? Oh, sure, yeah.
Whippets with the chocolate and the marshmallow and
yes,
the little jam.
Those are good.
Those are good.
Those are good.
And now they're really tiny.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I thought, you know what? I'm going to get myself a treat and get myself a box of Whippets. And I got them home, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? There they are. Thank you, Mano.
Yeah, no, you need a regulation size. Do you eat them from the top down? Or do you just bite into the whole cookie? I would eat them from the top down.
Yeah, that's what I used to do.
I would eat the chocolate and marshmallow, and then when the wafer and the jam or whatever was left, I'd eat that. Yeah,
when I got them, I just plowed the thing into my mouth because I hadn't had one in a while. I was like, oh, Christ, these are tiny. Yeah, I think if you haven't gone to a cookie that you liked from when you were a kid, you may be surprised by the shrinkflation, I think is what it is.
Yeah.
Things are getting smaller. There's not as many in the package, et cetera, et cetera. But I thought of that when I was walking up and down the aisle. I thought, I'm not interested in any of these anymore.
Remember those old maple leaf cookies?
Yeah.
Yeah, those were bad.
Yeah, they sure were.
People are eating them now, though, just to spite Trump. I'll show Trump. I'll eat this shitty Canadian cookie till I puke.
It's in the form of a maple leaf.
Yeah.
All right, let's say thanks to one of our sponsors, the good people at the Mersons. I'm getting ready to go in next week. When are you going in?
I'm going the same time as you. As a matter of fact, I called them up and dovetailed my appointment with yours so that we can go out on a romantic lunch.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
And in the area, there's things in walking distance, which is nice.
Well, if you can get across the street.
Yeah, I haven't been since the whoop-de-doo that they had a few weeks ago. I'm assuming the work is done. That would be a bad assumption.
That's a giant assumption.
It is, yeah.
On your part.
The Mersons are a family-run business, that look after your car. They've been looking after our cars for over 35 years. I just sent Kara a note the other day saying it's so great to have them support the podcast and really everything we have done for the last 35 years. When I started doing commercials for the Mersons, Kara's mom and dad were in charge, and
Mark and Bonnie.
Yeah, Kara was still in school. Now Mark and Bonnie are enjoying a little bit of semi-retirement. And Kara and Celso are still running the family business with a lot of employees that have been there for all of these years, which I think says something about the kind of shop they run and says something about how they look after you. Every single time I go in there, somebody says hi to me or recognizes me from the fact that we've spoken on Merson's behalf for all of these years. We're going in to get our tires changed. You can have your winter tires stored or your summer tires stored at the Mersons. They will look after anything that has anything to do with your vehicle, no matter what you drive. My wife is driving an electric vehicle now, and when we spoke to them, they said, yeah, tires are tires. Bring it in. They'll really look after you. You'll see if you go on their website. Manos just put the website on up if you're watching on YouTube, and a lot of customers are raving about them. They are 100% honest, says one of the testimonials. Charlie and all the team there took great care as usual. Been coming to Merson for over 10 years. Full service garage, great service, helpful and knowledgeable staff. That's the kind of talk you'll hear when you're in the waiting room at Merson. They will look after your car. I don't think it's too early for our winter tires. Do you?
Well, I mean,
it feels like it.
Yeah, based on the weather. But you know how fast the weather can turn at this time.
Yeah, and I live up north now, so there's no screwing around.
Yeah.
No. Mersons are just past the corner of St. Jacques and Cavendish. They will look after you and your car. Never do anything that isn't necessary. You know, you're not going to get a hidden charge. They're just really, really good folks.
Yeah, I'll tell one quick story about that. I had a vehicle a number of years ago. There was something was going wrong with it. There was a heating issue with the engine, and I took it to a guy, a friend of mine. I know a guy, and I took it to the guy, and he goes, oh, that's going to need a whatever, $1,100. And then I took it to Merson and Celso said, you need a new thermostat from Canadian Tire, $20.
Yeah. Bastards.
That's why I go to Merson.
There you go. Merson, you can visit them online, but drop in and see them. You'll see what we're talking about. Did you find your note from the Riches?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
When I came in here today, Ted beat me to the studio, and he was grumbling about the goddamn G's Louise stupid
logged
password,
into that goddamn thing.
Anyway, Linda Riche from Riche Jewelers in Dorval sent Ted a note.
Linda's great. Every week she sends me a note. She makes our job easy to tell us what to talk about Robert Riche Jewelers, one of our sponsors. She said, for tomorrow's podcast, please mention Antwerp. Pierre leaves for Antwerp October 25th. Antwerp is the diamond capital of the world. Pierre gets special invitation access to the diamond cutting factories. So if you've got the question to pop, or if you've just got a big gift idea, if an anniversary is coming up. Linda said, by the way, I mentioned this last week, December is when the most wedding proposals are made.
Really?
It's the biggest month of the year for wedding proposals. So Pierre can go see Pierre before he leaves on the 25th. And if you have an idea of what you want, he can help you there. If you don't have any idea, he can help you there. He can give you some ideas. Also, the price of gold, Linda says, has gone up 50%.
What?
In the last 12 months. She said, with the holidays just around the corner, cleaning up your jewelry box from broken jewelry to stuff you just don't wear anymore, we buy gold. And you'd be surprised at what you can get for bits and baubles. Baubles.
Yes.
Yeah. So take your leftover gold down to Robert Riche Jewelers, and they'll buy it from you. And you'll get to meet some really, really nice people.
Yeah, they ever nice folks. And the shop is so comfortable, so easy to shop in. It's not too big, run by nice people. You'll love it.
309 Dorval Avenue in Dorval, just across from the Haunted Mall.
Where you can park and just jaunt across the street. You can jaywalk or you can go to the corner across the light.
Yeah. Dad, can we do the tweet sheet, Dad? Can we do the tweet sheet now?
Sure can.
We, Dad? I'm excited about the tweet sheet.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got a bonus tweet this week, as a matter of fact, that I think you're going to like. I actually ran it up the flagpole with someone this morning to see what they thought. Here's one from @Bob Janke. You know what would be funny if the siren on a police car didn't work and the cop had to make that noise with his mouth through the loudspeaker? What noise would you go with if you were the
let's
cop?
See. Well, the old one was there's whoop whoop.
Yeah.
And there's woo 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 woo. Yeah. Neener, neener, neener.
If you're in Europe, Thank you, Bob. He's one of my favorite follows on Twitter, and I've developed a bit of an online DM relationship with Bob as well. He's a good Joe.
All right. Next one.
From @GardenGirl125. I've never pronounced the L so hard in my life than when I went into Ace Hardware asking for caulk just now. That's CAULK, caulk. And from @Tommy Tough Stuff, me being fired. Is it because I pull my pants all the way down at the urinal? Boss. No, it's because you lost the Henderson account. Wait, all the way down? Me. To the ankles, baby.
I've never seen Tommy Tough Stuff before. Is he a regular?
It's a great account. Yeah. I think I must have used him before. I know that he's got some good stuff. Now, before Mano puts the next one up on the screen, let me set it up for you. This is one where it's a response to an original tweet. So you have to look at the original tweet, which is down below, and then you look up top at the response. Okay, right. Mano? Here we go. So the original tweet from the Nobel Prize Committee, Tu Youyou became the first mainland Chinese scientist to be awarded a Nobel Prize in a scientific field. And then the guy retweeted that and said, also, she's the most difficult person to sing happy birthday to. Happy birthday to you.
Her name is Tu Youyou.
Youyou.
Yeah. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. See, he's right.
There's a little bit of fun on Twitter.
Yeah.
By and large, an absolute sewer, but
a cesspool for the most part.
Absolutely, but
you can pan for gold and find it sometimes.
Now, we want to talk about the Habs this week. We asked Stu Cowan if he had time. He did not, and that's understandable because he's covering practice and the home opener. And I didn't want to bother Pierre Hood because I could have called Pierre, but Pierre's, he's been doing F1 and also is gearing up for the home opener himself.
Well, I think the opener's in Toronto, actually.
Right. So I thought, you know what? Ted's a sports guy. Let's talk about the Habs, Ted.
Well, I mean, you and I are big Habs fans. I think we can talk about it without having an expert in the room.
Yes.
And I'm excited. I thought that they were a much improved, I didn't just think, they were a much improved hockey team last year, and I think they're going to be even better this year. The core of the team is pretty much all under 25 years of age. Mm-hmm. They're still moving towards their prime. They're a well-balanced club. They're a well-coached club by Martin St. Louis. And I think that they're going to make the playoffs again this year, and I think they're going to get past the first round this year.
You do?
Yep.
Wow, okay. What is it? Is there anything that you like improvement-wise?
I like that they picked up the kid Bolduc from St. Louis.
Yep.
They got Noah Dobson, the defenseman from the Islanders. Demidov is going to play his first full season with the Canadiens, and just the glimpse we got of him at the end of last year or in the playoffs last year. Yeah. That's a really special hockey player who's 20 years old. He might be 21 by now.
Jacob Fowler, I think, is going to spend most of his time in Laval.
I don't think he's
seasoned.
Yeah. I don't know if
he's the new goaltending prospect.
It's not necessarily that he's not ready yet. It's just that they don't need to throw him to the Lions just yet.
Yeah.
Montembeault and Dobish can do the job. Yeah, I just think they're a really well-balanced hockey team. And most of all, last year, they were in every game. Even the games they lost, they were always in it. I mean, they got blown out a couple of times, but everybody does.
Yeah.
At least a couple of times. But for the most part, the Canadians were in every game, won more than they lost, made the playoffs. And I just think they're going to be even better this year. I'm really, really excited about the Montreal Canadiens this season.
As of this recording, their opener is
tonight in Toronto. Okay. Wednesday night in Toronto.
Okay.
And yourself?
I'm good, thanks.
Yeah?
Yeah, I must admit, I don't I don't follow the minutia of it as much as most people do, especially online now.
But you'll get up to speed during the season.
Yeah, but I'm not. It's like when we were talking about the Carey Price trade, and everybody said, you didn't know that. Well, I don't play general manager. I'm not one of those people that's like, I can't believe they didn't grab this guy in the second round. I don't give a shit about that.
And it's not a hockey podcast.
Yeah, I like to watch the games, and I couldn't tell you what they missed when they drafted this guy and who they should have drafted, and why isn't that guy playing on the right wing? He should be in the
all
social
of that media now. Everybody's an expert now.
Yeah, everybody's a general manager.
Yeah. That's why I say whenever I tweet something, I might say, that was a nice goal by Demidov. That's my expert hockey analysis.
And I like to turn to people like Stu Cowan. I enjoy
Tony Marinaro.
Tony knows his stuff. Yeah. So anyway, go Habs, go. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Now, did you read the story about the WestJet people? They're redesigning their cabins so that their seats don't recline in the back.
I heard about that. Yes.
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
Well, I don't fly enough to really care that much. Also, I don't remember the last time, if ever, I was on WestJet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I fly Air Canada, or I listen to me like I'm some kind of a world traveler. When I fly every few years, it's Air Canada. Or if I'm going to Toronto, sometimes maybe Porter.
WestJet
or if I go overseas, Transat.
WestJet doesn't have a real heavy profile in the East, but when we lived at West, we used them a lot.
Yeah.
And basically, if you read the story closely, what they're doing is they're squeezing more seats in a cabin, and
That's why they're doing it?
Yes.
Okay, now I don't like it.
Yeah. And what's happening is you pay less for the seat in the back because it has less legroom and the seats don't recline. And as you move forward through the cabin, I think you pay more the farther up you move, you get a little bit more legroom. And I think once you're up the front, your seat can recline if you want to. But what they're trying to do is squeeze more people on a flight is what they're trying to do, maximize their loads. That was a big travel story this week, but Ted and I don't travel that much, and like Ted's pointing out, WestJet doesn't really have a big presence. I mean, they're here, but they don't have a big presence in the East.
Many years ago, 1997, I flew to South Africa. New York to Johannesburg, a 17-and-a-half-hour flight.
Just kill me.
In the last row of economy, so the seats were up against the bulkhead and didn't recline.
Right near the bathroom, too.
Exactly, as an added bonus, right beside the bathroom for 17-and-a-half hours. And I was still a smoker at the time, so I'm jonesing for nicotine on top of all the rest of it.
Nice.
South Africa was nice, though.
Memorable flight.
Yeah.
17 hours. It's one of the reasons Jess and I keep talking, when years ago we talked about going to Australia, and now we can't imagine going to Australia.
Because of the flight?
Yeah.
Maybe do what Simon Dingley did. Our friend Simon Dingley. Yeah. Simon just got off a cruise ship in Japan, sailed from Los Angeles to Japan.
Yeah.
And I think it was like 9 or 10 days.
Yeah.
I think it was over a week anyway.
Yeah.
And I said to him, I think he was 2 days out, and I was texting him, which is amazing. He's in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and we're having a conversation in real time on text.
Yeah.
And I said, and this was an old joke of yours. You once said this about cruise ships. I said, is it like prison with liquor yet?
It's a long cruise. That's a long, I don't know if I could do.
He said he was ready.
Yeah.
With 2 days to go, he was ready to get off.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a beautiful, luxurious
It's not
ship.
like the Battle of Midway.
Battle stations.
Not like the guys in Midway.
No.
They were on their way to Japan, too. It's a whole other story, though. That's a long time to be at sea, I think.
Yeah, well, you get cabin fever, I guess. Even though your cabin is luxurious and everything you need is on the ship, and you can eat spectacularly, and they have swimming pools and running tracks and movie theaters and even AA meetings.
Yeah. Years and years ago, I got talked into doing a gambling cruise off the coast of Boston with my buddy Tim, and when we were on the ship for maybe 2 hours and we wanted to jump off. It's the way I described it, prison with liquor.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was like. Those were what the accommodations were like too. Shall we say hi to our friends at Accutech? That's what we should do.
Sure.
Our good friends at Accutech. I had a text from a friend of mine who's getting ready to move into a new house and said, "What generator should I buy?" And I said, "Wow, are you asking the wrong guy?" But I do remember Generac.
No, he's asking the right guy because you know who to send him to.
Yeah, that's what I told him. I said, our friends at Accutech recommend Generac. It's kind of like the Bentley of generators, apparently. I think. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like your high-end.
It has a leather interior?
It has a leather interior and a very smooth ride. That's how much we know about electricity, which is why we send you to our friends at Accutech. Accutech are a family-run business that have been at it since 1995, and they do it all. They do commercial stuff, so if you've just bought a new store and you want to redo the lighting, they can do that. If you have bought a house that needs redoing, they can do that for you too. If you've got a fuse box that looks like it was put in 1951, you should get that fixed. Call Accutech. They are your electrician in the Montreal area, as it says on the website. If you're watching on YouTube, Mano just put up a slide from Accutech. Tom and his crew are on the go all day while Trish holds the fort back at the office. If you have an electrical problem, it's the kind of thing that pops up, when you least expect it is what happens. Unless you're living in a place where the wiring is all not good.
About due for an electrical emergency, aren't we?
Yeah, I think so. You smell something burning? Call the people at Accutech, and they'll come out and let you know what they can do for you, what your problem is, and how long it's going to take, all of that stuff. And like we said, whether it's commercial or residential, they can look after you. And as we always say, we love a family business. Tom and Trish run that family business out West Island Way and can look after you all over the greater Montreal area. Accutech, that's ACUTECH.ca. I wanted to mention a couple of things before we get ready to say goodbye, Ted.
We should mention Playground before we say goodbye.
Yeah, we're not gonna forget Playground. Should I do my my little things here?
Do your little things.
Just before we get to our friends at Playground, I want to express my condolences to Dennis Trudeau's family. His wife and son lost their dad this week. Dennis Trudeau, if you're of a certain era, certain age, you will remember him as the anchor man of the CBC News all throughout the 90s. I think through the early 2000s, he did the CBC Supper Hour News. He was also host of As It Happens on CBC Television. He was a journalist in the 1970s, just a terrific guy, a great broadcaster, and a really, really talented old school journalist who took what he did very, very seriously and happened to be a very, very nice man who was very kind to me. Dennis was already a star in this town when I started at Shome back in 1984, and I made his acquaintance, ran into him a couple of times when I was still young and wet behind the ears and green and didn't have a lot of friends. He was very, very kind to me. I was saddened by the news of his passing. Dennis Trudeau was taken by cancer at the age of 77. Our condolences and thoughts to his wife and his son. All right. Are you going to Playground Poker, or you're going to?
I'm going to go this week, and okay. I think I'm going to dip my toe in the slots.
Okay.
And maybe at the poker tables, although I'm not sure if I'm ready for that yet. But I'm going with Charlie, my son Charlie. Yeah. He knows the landscape over there. He's already got his card. And by the way, if you don't have your Playground player's card, go online, go to playground.ca and get the card. You can pick it up. You can pick up the actual physical card when you get there. But you need one to play the slots. You need one to play poker. I called Charlie the other night and I said, have have you got your playground card? Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Charlie knows his way around playground. So I'm going to go over with him.
Good.
We're going to have dinner at Cetera, ETC, period, their steakhouse, and then we're going to go gambling. So I'll let you know how that goes. If I show up here in a barrel next week, you'll know that it didn't go well.
There's, if you're watching on YouTube, some pictures of the poker. I was going to say poker room, but it's the poker building, really, at Playground Poker. It's quite. What's the slogan that we keep screwing up?
It's the strip without the slip.
Yeah.
No, the strip without the trip. It's like going to Las Vegas, but not having to get on the airplane.
Yeah, and if you get a card, which is really easy to do, you can
easy and essential. You got to have the card to play.
So you need the card to play, and you need the card to get the $5 breakfast on
Wednesday. The $5 breakfast on Wednesday.
Wow.
The all-you-can-eat at the Drunken Dragon Japanese restaurant on Tuesday. They have all kinds of special promotional offers that you can take advantage of with your player's card. The player's card available at playground.ca.
Tons of free parking and a really cool place.
Yeah, and 20 minutes from downtown, 20 minutes from the West Island on the 138 in Ganawage. And Ganawage means no tax.
Yes. All right. I thought I would, as I do every week, we watch things and I read things and see things and I think, I should tell people about this. I wonder how I could do that. Oh yeah, we have a podcast, so I'll do that.
Please do.
If you're wondering, I still don't have any news on the mugs. I'm very sorry. People keep asking me about the mugs and the merch. I'm very sorry.
Well, the interest is there. If we extrapolate the number of emails that we get saying, I'll buy a mug. I'd like a mug.
Yeah.
Multiply how much do you multiply by that? What's the extrapolation process?
Good question.
We're not marketing geniuses,
no, we're
are
not.
we?
Yeah. We're working on it. So, pardon me. This week, I thought I would start. I know this seems counterintuitive, but I thought I would mention some of the podcasts I listen to. I live up in the Laurentians. So anytime I come into town, which is at least a couple of times a week, I'm in traffic on the 15. If you live north of the city, you understand traffic on the 15. C'est tout le temps. God, yes. Always blocked.
Oops, snorted, sorry.
So I never leave the house without, a bunch of podcasts on the phone, and I try and listen to us, and I sometimes do. I sometimes listen back to us and think, okay, we suck, and then put something else on. But I thought I would mention, in case you're a podcast fan, and if you're just getting into podcasts, I thought I would mention a couple. I'm a very big fan of Barry Weiss. Barry Weiss, excuse me, used to write for the New York Times. She just had her podcast purchased by Paramount for $150 million. So
she was appointed editor-in-chief of CBS News.
Yes. And her podcast is something I like. She's very intelligent. She's very bright. And the particular, it's called Honestly with Barry Weiss. This week, she had Woody Allen on. Woody Allen is a fascinating man who's been on the planet for over 90 years, has some amazing stories to tell and amazing thoughts, and he's currently got a book out that apparently is very, very funny. I haven't read it. He was on Bill Maher, but I found that podcast very aggravating to listen to because, as I said at the top of the show, Bill Maher is always interrupting and going on and on and on and on.
Bill Maher. Part of the problem with Bill Maher is he sits there and he gets high during his podcast. Yeah. He doesn't do that during his TV show, and his TV show is infinitely better.
Right.
But he sits there, and I guess he's trying to create a bro vibe. But he sits there and he drinks and he smokes pot, and I think the quality of the show suffers as a result.
I agree, and he gets in the way of his guests, which is not a good thing when you're interviewing, just my opinion. Anyway, Woody Allen was on with him. I found it interesting, kind of, but a little aggravating. Barry Weiss's podcast, honestly, she speaks to him for almost 2 hours. Fascinating stuff. Good hang with Amy Poehler. Amy Poehler from Saturday Night Live has a podcast. She just had Olivia Colman on. Highly recommend it. If you're a movie fan, Joe Mankiewicz. Oh, is that the right Mankiewicz? I'll have to look it up. Mano, can you tell me who the host on TCM is? It's a Mankiewicz brother. Did I get it right or wrong? The Turner Classic Movies has a podcast series on the making of Cleopatra. And that was a film with Elizabeth Taylor from the 1950s. It's a fascinating movie story. And the Mankiewicz family was involved with that. So is it Tom? Is it Joe? Joe, there's a... Boy, do I sound like an idiot, eh? TCM, Turner Classic Movies, and the Mankiewicz family, famous writers, famous producers, famous directors. Ben Mankiewicz, thank you, Mano. Anyway, if you're a fan of movies, the story of Cleopatra on a podcast called The Plot Thickens is very, very good. And Ted and I are fans of John Kiriakou, who is a former CIA agent who can tell a story like nobody's business.
And has great stories to tell.
Are they ever great stories? He's on a new podcast called the Tegan Broadwater Podcast. He's got some old stories, but some new stories. Highly recommend it. This is something you never thought would come out of my mouth. I love the new Miley Cyrus song.
I love Miley Cyrus.
Do you?
I think she's got
one of the most. Fun of me.
No, I think she's got one of the most amazing voices I've ever heard.
Okay.
Have you ever heard her cover version of "Nothing Else Matters" by Metallica?
I have maybe thought. No.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
she's got a new album out. I think I saw her on, I don't know, CBS Sunday Morning or one of those shows. The new album's called Something Beautiful. But if you're a Fleetwood Mac fan, she's got a new song out called Secrets that she wrote for her dad. And on that record, Mick Fleetwood and Lindsey Buckingham play. And it sounds like a new Fleetwood Mac song. It's called Secrets, Miley Cyrus.
Whatever else she is, she's enormously talented.
Oh my gosh. I highly, highly recommend, if you haven't listened to anything new in a while, listen to Secrets and tell me Stevie Nicks isn't pissed when she hears that song. I went back to Black Rabbit on Netflix. It's good. It's a little, I find it a little slow. It's very dark. It's with Jude Law and Jason Bateman. Slow Horses is so good. I get mad every time the episode ends on Apple TV. And Jess and I are trying to watch House of Guinness, and we are getting through it, but we also find it a little bit plodding. And that's also on Netflix. And I don't know if we talked about this last week. Peaky Blinders, the movie is out in 2026, and we read this week they're going to do 2 more seasons of Peaky Blinders. Apparently, the demand for Peaky Blinders is so strong, and Cillian Murphy is going to reprise his role, and they're going to take Peaky Blinders into the 40s and 50s. I cannot wait. That's going to be sometime next year.
Which streaming service is that on?
That's on Netflix.
Okay. Do any of these cross over? Like, do any of the Netflix series is this cross over to Crave?
No. Well, sometimes you can see some things on Crave. Mm-hmm. But the big ones like Peaky Blinders rarely do. I know it's hard to have all of these, I like your strategy though. You sign up and then you cancel.
Yeah, if I see something I want to watch, a series in particular, I'll sign up. Like I signed up for Paramount Plus, watched Mobland, and then canceled. When the new season of SAS Rogue Heroes starts on Prime, I'll sign up, and when it's over, I'll cancel. Can I do a nepotism plug?
Yeah, please do.
Birdcore, the podcast.
Yes.
With Sam Bird and his buddies Tom and Kit is very funny. Younger generation might enjoy it. Your kids might enjoy it. What else is Sam doing? He's on Street Sense, which is the old CBC show rebooted for online. And he's doing very well with that. And him and his 2 co-hosts do some very creative and fun videos.
They sure do.
And Gunther.
Yes.
Gunt TV, Gunt TV on Instagram. It's Sam and his friend Tom. And it's like the closest comparable I can come up with is Borat. Mm-hmm. They go into character as 2 sexually ambiguous German fashion icons, and they go around Toronto, which is where they live, shooting stuff, and they never break character.
Yeah.
And lots of people think they actually really
German.
are
Yeah.
these two German guys. And this past weekend, they did something called pudding mit Gimmel or something like that.
It's eating pudding with
a fork,
fork.
which apparently is a thing in Germany now.
Okay.
So they had a pudding with the fork little festival in one of the parks in Toronto.
How did it go?
I think it went all right.
Great.
Yeah, but they're very funny to watch.
They really are. Sam is very, very talented and hangs out with some other talented people. One last thing, I started to watch the new Tulsa King. If you're a Tulsa King fan, it was Sylvester Stallone. We got some new guest stars this year, and it's quite good. Okay, I think that's it.
Yes, sir.
It's time to go see David Drucker.
Yes.
I just got a text from
I
him.
better change my shirt.
Yeah, you better. Thank you, Mike. If you happen to be watching the podcast, thank you for sending. That's very, very cool. I don't think I gushed enough about that. I can't wait to see mine. It's in the outer room. Okay. Just before we go, don't forget terryandtedpodcast.com. That's the website. You can find a list of recommendations from every episode. All the episodes from this week are there. Also, there's a little crawler at the top of the website that is an instant link to YouTube. So if you're having trouble finding the episode to watch, terryandtedpodcast.com.
And then when you get to YouTube, subscribe.
Please subscribe to the channel. It helps us a lot.
And it'll help you in terms of getting the episode.
Yeah, it'll pop into your feed every week. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram. You can also follow us on X. Although nobody sees our stuff anymore, we still post stuff because we mentioned this, I think, a couple of weeks ago. We don't know what happened to Twitter. I guess we're not rage farming enough or whatever, but we used to get 3,000-4,000 people would look at our videos. Now it's like 4. Anyway, we're on Facebook. There's a Standing By Podcast Facebook page and also on Instagram. And we'd love if you would leave a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify because it helps us get people to discover the podcast. So if you leave a little review, that's really, really helpful, and we're deeply grateful. And also, we're on the iHeart thingy now. We're iHeart people.
And Spiros, make your kids listen in the car. Yeah. Force them to listen.
Our thanks to Mano for producing the show and keeping us on track. And our thanks to you for listening. And we hope you come back and check us out. New episode again next week.
Standing By, the Terry and Ted podcast is hosted by Terry DeMonte and Ted Bird and is brought to you by the UPS Store Canada. The executive producer of Standing By is Jessica Dion.